Steve from 3 Punk Ale. Steve Garcia is here. What's up, Steve?
Buenos dias, Kaplan. How you guys doing?
Doing really good, man. Buenos dias to you, man. I see that guitar in the background. Where are you?
You know what? Down in my office here at the brewery, I have a little studio. I played music all my life, and then I just started tinkering with creating a podcast, Emo Brown, the saddest Mexican. And yeah, man, I just turned it into a little studio here in the background, and this is where I disconnect from the day-to-day things of running an operation.
Oh, dude. So are you a guitar player, or is that a bass guitar behind you?
I have them both, man. I have a guitar. I have an accordion in here, a little drum pad. But yeah, we play it all. It's just a time to kind of like decompress.
All right. You know I'm going to ask you to...
Popular belief, not all of us brewers and brewery owners drink beer.
You know at some point we're going to want you to pick up the guitar, or is that what you play?
Yeah, man, I play the guitar, but nothing's connected. So don't even cross that bridge, my man.
I want to see your toys, though, man. I want to see what you got.
What you need to see is this. This is my favorite toy right now. I just had a lesson earlier. My accordion.
No way.
Yeah, I've been learning to play the accordion. That's been my pandemic hobby.
Really? And
yeah.
And is that like electric? Does an accordion have to be plugged in, or I think of it as just being like air? That's
all
how
air,
it makes
man.
it.
It's all air infused, air operated.
Can you pick it up and let us see what it looks like? That's a cool piece. That's a really cool instrument. Where'd you get that?
A musician down here who has a little music store, and he hooked me up. I was like, hey, man, I really want to learn how to play this thing. What's the word? Bro, I'm Mexican. I grew up listening to, I don't know if I can cuss. I listen to corridos and norteño music. So my first love was Mexican music.
So you broke up just a little bit. You buffered. You grew up Mexican guy, and accordion, an important part of Mexican music, is what you're saying.
For sure. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. So, I mean, I've always wanted to learn how to play it. It's a difficult instrument, bro. It's a difficult instrument to learn. So I've been taking classes for like the last couple of months. Can
we hear a little something?
I'll give you a chord, bro. Okay. I don't know how to play anything yet, but this is like a chord. It's just a beautiful sounding instrument, man. You just open it up and let her breathe.
Like when I hear that sound, and I just immediately got taken back to so many carne asadas and baptisms in my life. Just that one chord right there, you know you're about to have a good time.
Here's the thing, man. I'm a dad. I have 3 little boys, and it's harder and harder to kind of like get them to buy into the whole Mexican culture. They're 8, 6, and 3. Anytime I'm playing my music, they're like, we got
a little buffering.
So it's like, I need to learn how to play these instruments so I can show them.
That's really cool. Now, by the way, as you're sitting there, and this is really cool, as you're sitting there and you have your left arm wrapped around your accordion and you're giving that accordion some love, I get to see on your forearm, you have the brand 3 Punk Ales tattooed on your forearm. You said not all brewers drink. You said contrary to popular belief. Can you explain what you do at 3 Punk? And do you not drink your own beer?
You know what, man? We've been in this game for a minute. I'm not a big beer drinker. I like whiskey. Here at 3 Punk Ales, I'm one of the owner-operators. I'm not a brewer. My partner handles all the brewing. I take care of all the business development, all the marketing, anything related to financials and growing this business. People seem to think that as in a brewery, all you're going to do is drink all day. It's like, I can assure you that.
Have you ever, since you're such a big whiskey fan, I'm a whiskey guy too. Have you ever thought of making any whiskey and having it presented in a?
Yeah, for sure. Well, we currently have a couple of friends that are distillers, Liberty Call for one, and we buy barrels from them. We give them beer in turn so they can mash and create whiskey on their end. Next year, actually, later part of first quarter with Liberty Call, they're going to actually use some of our wash to create a whiskey. We had a beer that just came through. We made for the Padres season called Pelotero, which is an Imperial IPA, big beer. It was like 10%. We had it turn into some gin. So I just had a bottle of it last week at home. Man, it's clean. I just enjoy, I need to get to the point with it quicker. I feel like with beer, you're just kind of tiptoeing around the ultimate goal. Like if my goal is a Saturday night, I'm at home hanging out and I just want to like have a couple of drinks, that's what I want to do. I don't want to have to go through like 4.
That is so funny you just said that. It's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny you just said that because last night I went over to my girlfriend's house and we shared a tequila on the rocks a Casamigos on the rocks, a Reposado. And I was like, you know what? I don't really drink tequila like this very often, but I want to see what it's going to be like. And I drank kind of quickly just because I've loved the feeling on my lips and my tongue. And then I kind of got like a little buzzed really quickly. It didn't take a bunch of beers. Although Alex will tell you, I'm such a lightweight. I can have like a couple of sips of this and I can be already in bad shape.
Yeah. If you start drinking now, by the end of this interview, you'll be in bad shape. You muted
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Well, I did mute myself because my landscapers every Friday show up at the exact same time. Alex, get us started. I got to start closing windows. Otherwise, everybody's going to hear the lawnmower.
Okay. Well,
Right?
I'll just ask Steve real quick. Where do you want to start today as we talk about Three Punk Ales? First of all, Three Punk, do you have a website? Just let's throw all your info out there so people can find you guys.
All right, Three Punk Ales, we're located here in the heart of Chula Vista, downtown on 3rd Avenue, 259 3rd Avenue. We're open every day at noon, unless there's a specific soccer game that's on, like for Champions League or whatever, like a big match. We open as early as 8 in the morning, and we post all that on our social media. We've been in business here on 3rd Avenue since August 2017, and we just kind of, hustling, making it happen through the pandemic, bud.
So you gave us 2 beers, dude. Where do you want us to start? We got Kill the Pour, the San Diego IPA, and we got Too Hectic, the Hazy IPA.
Let's go with the hazy, something a little lighter, then we can jump into the big stuff.
All right. Beautiful.
So when you're out here and you're trying to produce good product, how has COVID affected that?
We've done our best to not let it affect it. We're going to do what we can to offset unnecessary costs, calling it trimming the fat to stay. But we didn't compromise the quality of the ingredients that we use for the beer. So we're a small business. Family owned. So it's 2 partners. It's myself and it's Kevin. My partner, Kevin, takes care of all of the brewing, as mentioned earlier, and I take care of everything else. So we keep our overhead low by just us here together. And then the staff, we have about a staff of 8 that takes care of our tasting room and delivery and everything else. The pandemic forced our hand to kind of push the delivery, the distribution revenue of our business plan a little faster than we anticipated. But fortunately, it's all been working out for us where we have developed a distribution line. We started canning 4-packs during the pandemic and started pushing those out to local pubs and bars that are open. So knock on wood for us right now, it's been working. There's 2 options, man. You stay still and you kind of wait for things to pan out, or you just kind of keep mobile and move through everything that's being thrown our way. And we've learned how to dance.
I'll say cheers.
And pivot through all of these obstacles that are getting.
I'll say cheers to that right there, dude. I'll say cheers to that. Seriously, anybody who during this year decided that, it was just better to crawl up and hide, rather than adapt, it was adapt or die moments, and you guys, I wanted to actually hear the beginning of the business. Like, how did you guys even get into this thing?
And who's the third punk?
Third punk. You know what? Collectively, it's a lot of people.
There's a lot of punks.
There's a lot of people that contribute. Initially, it was an idea between a couple of our friends. We grew up playing soccer. We grew up being in punk bands, just music in general. And we grew up doing home brewing. Threw all that in a blender, started drinking, and it worked out. Here's the thing about making homebrew. Your closest friends and your family are always going to say, oh, man, this is awesome. It tastes great. You guys should we actually thought about it, but before we did that, we wanted to get a foundation of going to San Diego State and graduating for the marketing aspect of craft beer, UCSD, with actually learning the hands-on science and technology of brewing, the Siebel Institute. So we wanted to build a foundation on education of this industry before we just threw money into the project and made it work. It was birthed through those 3 components. It's still, to an extent, that we're local as local can get, man. We're from the heart of Chula Vista. We're here on 3rd Avenue. I'm from the South Bay. My partner's from the South Bay now, so it's kind of like we do everything for the community, and the community respects us for that, so they get our back.
This is really cool.
I think that here in San Diego, too, what gets lost is that when you talk about San Diego breweries, you just kind of lump everything together, right? So we've had on the Stone, and we've had on the Latchkey, and now we've had you guys on. But there's a big difference between being 3 Punk Ale, local, microbrew, in the heart of a neighborhood, and Stone, who's everywhere in the world.
We are local as local gets, bro. Our game plan initially was strictly to own our backyard. You know, we operate in Chula Vista, so let's just simply distribute to the pubs, the restaurants, the bars that are located here in Chula Vista first. Then let's start growing in the South Bay. And now we're to the point where it's like, okay, let's expand our footprint. Let's start packaging product and moving it past like the 8 or out to East County. We're in Mexico. We're like in Baja pubs and bars. We've been in Guadalajara. So, I mean, we're slowly growing in that aspect, but my main objective was always to own the backyard. Chula Vista first for us.
So I have a question. So first of all, Alex will tell you, I'm not really an IPA drinker. This is, as you said, this is much lighter. I mean, at least it seems to me. I mean, I'm not trying to like break down the science of the beer, but like it's drinkable for someone like me who's more of a, Alex, what is it? Is it like lager?
Lager pilsners.
Yeah. So, and by the way, I don't know what the alcohol content is here in the 2 Hectic Hazy IPA, but I've had like 1 sip and it's on.
Yeah. I mean, this is like a 6.6 ABV. The main objective is just to be kind of a little bit more flavorful with juice, a juice-like component, and a little bit more fruit flavor. It's not overwhelmingly bitter. So most people think of IPA, the first thing they're going to jump to is like, oh, this is going to be a bitter beer. It's going to leave a sour taste in my mouth. No, this is more of a flavorful juice like punch in your mouth. First attempt that for us as a brewery doing the hazy game, we kind of like stayed away from making hazy beers for a while. But like I said, man, as soon as the pandemic hit, you got to learn how to dance. You got to do things that you normally don't do.
Yeah. So I have a question. So when you have a brewery and you have a tasting room, is it hard to then get other bars or tasting rooms? I'm not sure what the terminology is, but is it hard to get them to take your beer when you have the beer and the tasting room? I mean, do they say, no, I don't want to take your beer. You have your own tasting room. How does that go?
I mean, it all depends on the proximity from that location to our location. I have a neighbor who owns a bar called Bar Sin Nombre. He's purchased beer from us. He's purchased kegs for us for his establishment. On 3rd Avenue, there's about 10 locations that sell craft beer. There's another craft brewery named Chula Vista Brewery. I have Groundswell across the street. And then we have a multitude of restaurants that are down the block that sell craft beer. I always describe our area in the South Bay as being in a bubble. So whatever affects like San Diego craft beer industry as a whole over there rarely touches us, man. We down over here, it's like we have each other's back. If somebody needs something, we got you. No questions asked. Bars down here, there is no issue. There's no qualm. They'll buy our beer if they want to buy our beer. We'll sell it to them.
I didn't know how that worked. That's interesting. All right, that was good. That was really good. What'd you think, Browner? What do you think of 2 Hectic?
I think it's pretty good, man. It's like you said. Ironically, you and I seem to have the same taste when it comes to beer. I think the only beer that we haven't tasted on the show yet that I'm really a fan of is something like super dark, like a Guinness. But other than that, like, this is really good. I really like this. It's very drinkable.
Right. What do you think, Alex? Alex, you have a bit more of a trained tongue or
his
palate.
can might already be empty.
Yeah, I know.
It's halfway done already. So I actually, I've been to 3 Punk a bunch of times. I've never had a hazy because you said you didn't make hazy, so it makes sense. It's actually really, really good. Props, bro. Well, I have a random question. As a brewer, you get to create the beer, but you also get to create the labels. You get to create the name. How does that even go about? Like, why 2 Hectic Hazy IPA?
Yeah. So, yeah. Much time in creating like whole packaging and the development of our beer because I don't actually make the beers. My partner Kevin will make the beer, so I take like a great pride in like, you know what? Then we're gonna attack this beer with a killer name. Every beer that we release, I like to approach it like as a record being released, bro. So for us, like 2 Hectic, I work with my art director Chicle. He's located down here from the South Bay as well. 2 Hectic is a play on words from an old Operation Ivy song called "Healthy Body, Safe Mind," and if you look on the front of the label, it's myself and somebody else that works here in the tasting room. And it's just like an old Operation Ivy style of like a label where we draw into like old school punk roots that we kind of grew up listening to. And it was just 2 Hectic for us. It was like everybody was always like, you need to do a hazy IPA. This is something you guys need to do to become more of a well-rounded catalog in your beer selection. So we're like, all right, let's do it. From there, we just said, let's do it our way.
Yeah.
Worked with South Norte. He's kind of like taking us under his wing as a mentor, and we appreciate his help with this, man.
Because Scott, like did you guys ever watch the Kenny Powers show, Eastbound and Down?
Oh yeah, I love that show.
So we don't have it with us today, but one of my favorite names of all time for a beer, La Flama Blanca. He has a beer called La Flama Blanca. I don't know if you still do, but you had it.
That's a core beer for us here, man.
Yeah, and the logo is like the outline of the mustache. It's awesome. It's hilarious.
Dude, I love the packaging. I really think it's really, really cool. I love the color of the can. I also really like, brewed and owned by, and you can, I love that ultra local thing that you guys have going on. This is really good. Too Hectic Hazy IPA. Really. And you know what else I really love, dude, is all of your incorporation of your musical background and your punk music playing and your passion for community. I think it's really a cool incorporation of all of these things.
It all happened by accident, man. And I keep telling people, like, if you truly like believe in something you're doing, you don't have to fake the funk. Like, it just kind of like naturally develops. And that's something I take great pride with our company down here with 3Punk. It's like, we really care about the beer we make. We really care about like the music component and the artistic feel to it. So it just kind of all blends together.
The next beer. Excuse me, Brown. I want to, where were you going? You going to the next beer here?
No. I was going to say, get into this business. What's been your hardest struggle? But we could do that while opening.
Let's hear that. What has been the hardest struggle? Good question.
I mean, not one thing has been easy opening this brewery. I mean, I feel like opening a business in general, a small business, you're going to encounter a lot of hurdles to jump through. In this industry, there's just a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape that you have to kind of like go through, a lot of paperwork to make it work. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. You can be ready to do something, but outline powers don't let you proceed with what you're doing. It's just a lot of hurry up and wait. And then we've learned along the way, man. I mean, everything we've done has been difficult. Nothing has been easy. This is easy. Like talking about the business, talking about like the beers we're making. This is the easiest part we'll have of the day, because especially now with COVID and the pandemic, there's 17 different regulations that are new this week that weren't there last week. So it's like, we just we're constantly learning and implementing and making sure our staff is comfortable and safe. And they're our main concern day to day, like safety wise. We want to make sure that the safety and their health isn't compromised by being open. So it's hard, man. Browner, don't do it. If you ever want to open a brewery, don't do it. It's the most difficult thing you'll ever want to do.
I say the same thing to people who tell me, I want to get into radio. I want to get into media. I'm like, don't do it. Steve Garcia is here from 3Punk Ales. Alex, the next beer we've got here, Kill the Pour. It's a San Diego IPA. So tell us a little bit about this one, Steve. What do we expect as we get ready to open this one up?
The Kill the Pour is going to be one of our core IPAs. We have two core IPAs. We have our double IPA, the Needle in the Hay, and we have our Kill the Pour. The interesting thing about Kill the Pour is that it's a rotating hop series. What does that mean? Not to get too nerdy with the beer, but every beer has its own special kind of hop blend. This specific beer will never have the same hop blend ever. So it's constantly rotating month to month. We link up with new flavor profiles we want to bring out with it. This specific one is for the Pink Boot Society. It's a large community of women dedicated to pushing forward the progress of women brewers or women in this industry. So we purchased the hop blend called the Pink Boot Society Hop Blend. So this one's going to have a little bit more of a floral backing, if you can taste that. Good beer, man. I mean,
yeah, I was going to ask you because I've had Kill the Pour before. I was going to tell you, this tastes different. Did you change the recipe? And yeah, you did.
The grain, all of that remains the same. But yeah, the hop is always different.
That's awesome. This is really, really good.
Do you find that there's a lot of struggles for whether it be a minority struggle or a gender struggle within this business as you're trying to navigate your way through it?
Yes. One thing I realized quickly is like, I'm not a white guy and I don't have a beard. And it's just super difficult. I'm not shaving for November. So it turns out I can grow a beard, man. It's only been like a week, but it's growing in there. But,
congratulations. I haven't cut my hair in a year. I'm doing nothing.
Bro, show me your hair. Show me your hair.
I noticed it's like, everybody's like, hey, you own a brewery. You're not white and you don't have a beard. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Wait a second. You're telling me that the perception is that anybody who owns a brewery is a white guy with a big beard.
Yeah. And in order to check that box, my partner does. He's a big white guy with a beard. No, man. I mean, we initially started this brewery in Santee. There was a brewery out there named Butcher's Brewing that gave us an opportunity to brew within their establishment, kind of like cut our teeth and learn exactly what it was to operate in this industry. Very grateful for that. I'm not from Santee. So as soon as the opportunity came on 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista to find a location to move us down here, I jumped all over it. So now we're in Chula Vista. Before doing that, every brewer and their mother telling me, why are you going to Chula Vista? Mexican people don't drink craft beer. Black people don't drink craft beer. Asians, Filipinos, they don't drink craft beer. You're making a mistake. Move to North Park. Open your production facility in North Park. Go to North County. Stay in East County. And I was like, no, man, if you only understood the South Bay, it's like we are a mixture. We're a diverse pot of different cultures. And that's how we were raised, man. I always tell people, it's like in the South Bay, you're from the South Bay. You're not like a certain ethnicity or anything. When you're from the South Bay, we enjoy the same things. Like burritos, we like Mexican lager beers, we like hanging out, and it's different down here. Have I encountered like some sort of minority struggle being a business owner? Yeah, not to the extent that other people have, but because we're open in Chula Vista. But yeah, it's definitely there, bro. It's not going anywhere either.
I think one of the largest misconceptions that minority business owners run into when they want to do something in a community that they love, you get a lot of people saying, don't do that, don't do that. But you understand that community more than the person telling you not to do it. And that person telling you not to do it actually gives you more confidence to do it because you know who you're trying to sell this product to because these are your friends. These are your neighbors. These are your community members. And that's what drives a local business. Hell, that's what drives any business.
You want to know what happens here, though, on Fridays? Browner starts drinking, and then he starts preaching.
First of all, time out.
He's spitting truth, though, man. He's spitting truth.
Thank you.
I know he's spitting truth, but hey, this is really good. I'm not like the big IPA type drinker. Browner, what do you think? You and me, we seem to taste it the same. I like this Kill the Pour. What do you think?
Of the two, this one's better than the other one. This one tastes a little. This is tasting a little easier. The original one we had. Let me see. Hold on.
Too hectic?
Too hectic was a little too much for me, but it was tasty.
I like them both.
More smoother.
I
like them both.
Incredibly smooth IPA, dude. Like honestly, like props to this one. This is really smooth for an IPA. That's 6.5. You can't even tell.
Yeah,
I could
really,
definitely
really
drink
good.
a six pack of these.
Hey, Steve, it is great to see you, man. Thank you so much for coming on today. Congratulations to you, your partners, and all your success. And, man, if we can ever do anything together, let's keep it rolling because I know Alex and crew broadcasting down there 2 years ago and us putting 1090 back on the air. Dude, cheers to you guys. And like you said, dude, adapt or die, dude. Adapt or die. Cheers, brother.
Shout out to all the punks.
Here's my man. Thank you, guys.